Have you ever caught yourself replaying the same thought again and again until it feels like your mind has turned into an echo chamber? That's the trap of overthinking. It starts as a simple question, what if? And before you know it, that question multiplies into 100 more. We convince ourselves that if we just think long enough, we'll finally find peace. But all we find is exhaustion. The mind becomes a battlefield, logic fighting emotion, fear fighting hope, and you, standing in the middle of it all, trying to control every outcome that was never yours to control. This isn't just anxiety, it's the illusion of safety. The belief that thinking more means protecting yourself from pain. But what if the real battle isn't in your thoughts? It's in your need to never stop thinking.
Overthinking is never random. It's the mind's desperate attempt to feel safe in an uncertain world. When life feels unpredictable, the mind searches for patterns. It replays conversations, re-examines choices, and rewrites moments as if thinking harder could rewrite reality itself. We convince ourselves that control equals peace. But the truth is, the more we try to control everything, the more chaos we create inside. The overthinker doesn't lack intelligence, they lack trust. Trust in timing, in people, in themselves. And so the cycle begins. We think to prepare, we prepare to prevent pain, but we end up creating the very anxiety we're trying to avoid. Overthinking isn't a sign of weakness. It's a mind that cares too much about outcomes it cannot change. Every overthinker knows the moment when one thought turns into 1,000. A simple what if becomes maybe I should have. Then what if I fail? And soon you're arguing with yourself inside your own head. Doubt becomes your constant companion, whispering that you missed something, that you said the wrong thing, that you should have been better. And the more you question, the deeper you sink. Because doubt feeds on attention. The longer you listen to it, the louder it grows. What began as self-protection turns into self-punishment. You start analyzing emotions instead of feeling them, predicting rejection before it happens, rewriting moments that already passed. Overthinking isn't thinking, it's looping. A mind trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist anymore. Overthinking doesn't shout, it whispers. It convinces you that every moment must be understood before it can be lived. So you pause before speaking, you replay what you said after, and you live trapped between regret and rehearsal. Slowly, the mind becomes heavy. Decisions that once took seconds now feel impossible. Joy becomes something you have to think through before you can feel. The worst part is, no one sees this battle. You smile, you nod, you function. But inside, it's noise, endless noise. And when you finally try to quiet it, silence doesn't feel peaceful anymore. It feels unfamiliar. Because when you've lived in the storm too long, calm feels like something's missing. There comes a point when you realize it's not the world that's exhausting you, it's your own mind replaying it. Every conversation, every possibility, every fear, you carry them all at once, like ghosts you can't put to rest. But then something shifts. You start to see the pattern. You notice how your thoughts argue with each other. How your mind fights battles that never even happened. Awareness doesn't stop the noise immediately,
but it separates you from it. You begin to see that you are not your thoughts. You're the observer behind them. And in that small distance, the battle starts to lose its power, because what you can see clearly no longer controls you completely.
The end of overthinking doesn't begin with control, it begins with surrender. Not the kind of surrender that means giving up, but the kind that says, I don't need to wrestle with every thought that enters my mind. You start to let thoughts pass, like clouds crossing the sky, knowing not every cloud means a storm. The more you watch without reacting, the more your mind begins to soften. You stop chasing answers. You stop demanding certainty. You stop asking, what if? And start whispering, it's okay. And in that simple acceptance, the battle quiets. Because peace was never found in thinking more. It was always in thinking less. The mind never stops creating noise, but you can stop mistaking that noise for truth. Overthinking was never your enemy. It was your mind's way of trying to protect you, even when it didn't know how. And once you see that, compassion replaces control. You stop needing every answer and start trusting the quiet moments in between. The battle within was never meant to be won. It was meant to be understood. Because peace doesn't come when the mind is silent. It comes when you no longer fear its voice. So breathe and let the thoughts drift by. The storm has served its purpose. Now, it's time to rest.